Do you notice that there may be forms of what we could call productive procrastination? Or where are you maybe procrastinating from those things that are income producing? Because sometimes those do feel hard, or there may be resistance around it. Or it may make you feel nervous to put yourself out there in a way, or to make offers and invitations because some deeper stuff may come up of fears of rejection, fears of failure. And sometimes I think I know I've navigated this a lot over the years. If I don't try, if I don't put myself out there or put the offer out there, I can't fail, right?
Overwhelm, reaction mode, and just keeping up are the old way.
You need real, root-level strategies and practical steps to grow your business or ministry without exhaustion and burnout.
Hi there, we're Anna Saucier
And Megan Gephardt,
best friends and business consultants who help faith-filled women create sustainable growth through simple strategy with a people-first approach.
Here at Apostolic Fruit, we hope to offer you clarity, support, accompaniment, and healing.
One tiny step at a time.
Hello, friend. Megan Gephardt here. Welcome back to the Apostolic Fruit Podcast. So today I'm excited to talk to you. We're going to do a little bit of strategy together about when we don't have enough time, or it never feels like we've got enough time. How and where do we focus when we want to increase our income, but our capacity is realistically limited? And if you're experiencing anything like I am in the summer where you've got much less time than usual, the kids are out of school, you're kind of out of routine, you may be traveling, you just want to do more fun things, you don't want to be working so much, but you still want to be able to support your family with this work and you want to be able to grow your impact, then you may be feeling these tensions too. So let's talk about it. If you're in a season where your time is tight, your energy is precious and maybe feels like it's a bit scattered or spread thin, and you do have real income needs or desires, this episode is for you. And we've been having this conversation with our clients and ourselves a lot lately. What do I focus on right now? What's the most prudent places to spend my time and energy and really steward my capacity and available resources when I want to be faithful to the calling that God has given me and also be faithful to my vocation and where He wants me to focus in this season? And frankly, I don't have unlimited time, help, or capacity, unfortunately, right? And so this is where we have to be strategic and intentional and even ruthless almost with what we are focused on. So I'm going to walk you through that today and a few different frameworks and some examples of what we've been working with clients in and ourselves as well to help you clarify where to focus, what to say no to, and how to really choose aligned actions that will actually move the needle forward. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing is that ruthless prioritization, it starts with awareness. So I want you to ask yourself and get really clear on, and this is a good place to take out a journal and do this exercise for yourself. What are your actual income producing activities right now? Are you clear on what directly leads to revenue? Or are you maybe spending energy on things that may feel urgent or that you do want to do, but they aren't connected directly to income flow? Sometimes we have to zoom out and actually ask that question and get really honest with ourselves. And a couple other further reflection prompts here I want to give you is, do you notice that there may be forms of what we could call productive procrastination? Or where are you maybe procrastinating from those things that are income producing? Because sometimes those do feel hard, or there may be resistance around it. Or it may make you feel nervous to put yourself out there in a way, or to make offers and invitations because some deeper stuff may come up of fears of rejection, fears of failure. And sometimes I think I know I've navigated this a lot over the years. If I don't try, if I don't put myself out there or put the offer out there, I can't fail, right? So it almost feels safer sometimes to hide or hold back from the actual actions that will bring in clients. And again, it's not to blame or shame, but it's just to bring awareness to those places that we may be. It's almost a form of micro-quitting or of a self-protection. And so I'm not bringing this to awareness to say, oh, you just got to overcome this, you got to push through, you got to just label it as a mindset block and just force yourself to get over it. We're not about that here. But I want you to first get curious. Is there a deeper fear? Is the uncertainty really uncomfortable to you? Is something confusing? Is there maybe a skill gap? Do you not feel comfortable with the language that you're using, or maybe the approaches you've been taught in sales and they feel icky to you and you don't feel good in your body as you're doing them. There's deeper, sometimes emotional and even physiological reasons that we're avoiding something. And that's not just to push past and overcome, but it's to get more curious about, get compassionate with yourself about it. And once you tune into it, you can better tend to it, right? You can do some deeper inner work in those spaces. You can get support in those areas. You can recognize the fears and name them so you can bring them to the Lord to speak truth into, to address those areas. There's something that likely you need to hold space for or just hear out. And you can listen to that resistance. You can let it show you what needs to be brought to the light or what areas might need support in. So that's the first thing, is really clear on income producing activities. And is there anything that's holding you back from really prioritizing those as like the most, if you really want to grow your income, right? That is the most important priority in the business. So does your time and energy reflect that? If not, let's get curious. Next, I want to invite you to more clarity on your budget, your business model, your pricing. Often, the problem isn't not putting in enough effort or doing enough work or trying hard enough. You may be working as hard as you possibly can and probably even harder than you want to be working. If you're feeling spread thin or you're feeling burnt out or frustrated, you're not seeing the fruit of your effort. But if your price point or your model doesn't make sense for your capacity and your income goals, you may feel stuck in this pattern where it feels like you're drowning or you're not doing enough and it's not enough no matter how hard you try. So try this check-in with yourself. How many hours do you want to be working total? Just in general, throughout your week, how many hours do you want to be working? Now, once you've answered that, how many clients can you realistically serve in a given week, a given month? With that time and energy and any maybe team support or whatever operationally is required and administratively to support your client delivery. So now you've answered the hours you want to be working total, how many clients you can realistically receive and support. And now I want you to multiply that by your current price point. So what we just did is we can now see what's the total income potential for you if you're ideally receiving the total number of clients that you have capacity to serve. Now I want you to zoom out and ask, does that number meet your actual financial needs and desires? And then a follow-on, does the time allocated between client delivery, what it takes to serve and support those clients, if you're to dedicate as much time as you've set in that, do you have enough space now for the other aspects of the business that need your attention too? That need you to steward something, whether it's marketing to keep the flow of clients coming in, whether it's administrative pieces, whether it's tending to the business finances, just staying organized behind the scenes so that it feels safe to invite people into your space. Does it give you enough space? If not, if when you really look at this honestly and you do the math and you see the numbers, if it doesn't make sense, then you need to do one of a few things here. You need to either raise your prices, shift the delivery model, adjust client volume, or maybe even redefine what enough looks like in this season. I think this is really, really important. We sometimes skip over this, but I've noticed that I've been doing this exercise with a number of clients over the last month or so, inside strategy sessions or inside quarterly planning sessions. And when we really do the math, we sometimes can very clearly see, objectively, the model that we've been working towards, it's not sustainable. And so we're trying to squeeze out as much as we can with this model, and there can be potentially a different kind of strategic pivot to make that can bring a lot more relief. So if you do the math yourself, does that make sense? If you receive that number of clients that you've got actual space and capacity for, that you can comfortably serve, and you know you're delivering really, really well, you're not compromising quality at whatever price point you've got based on your total capacity, does that meet your income needs and desires? Does that feel sustainable to you to work at that pace? That can bring a lot of clarity, because the alternative is we're vaguely in this place of, okay, I want to grow my business. I want to increase my income. And it often leaves us doing as much as possible, as much as humanly possible, but it's undefined, it's ambiguous. We fall into the trap of like, it's never enough, right? And so do this for yourself, see how it feels, and then allow that to help inform your decisions. And I want to acknowledge too, it can be hard to do this on your own without a sounding board. These are the kinds of things that it's hard when you're in it, you're in the weeds, you're in the thick of it to see certain things objectively. And it's nothing personal. It's not a personal failure for all of us. That's us too. We all feel this. And so if you desire support, I want to share with you, we do have 2 spots left for a one-time strategy session or a quarterly planning session between mid-July and mid-August. Price range for this, it varies depending on if you've got a team and you want to incorporate a team assessment, but it would start at $750 if not, and it would be $1,000 if you do want to do a team assessment. So it'd be a 2-hour quarterly planning or strategic planning session for your business, give you some immediate clarity, direction, a really solid plan, help you kind of tune out the distractions and the noise and that pressure to really keep up with what everyone else is doing and know very clearly what you need to focus on to move the needle forward for your exact goals in a way that honors your capacity in this season. The last thing I want to share with you is when you're making decisions, we make so many decisions in the business. Just acknowledge that, right? And we can often feel, especially when we're carrying so much on our own, a lot of decision fatigue on a day-to-day basis. But one big decision you might find yourself in that we've been navigating with a lot of clients recently is choosing what to launch or what to focus on in any given quarter. And we're talking here about bigger projects. We're talking about, do I launch this new program? Do I create and launch this new course? Or do I do another iteration, a relaunch of my current offering? Do I do something different? So I want to give you this example of walking clients through this and how we came to a decision that they felt a lot of peace with, and it made a lot of sense financially. So option A was they create something new. They were really, really excited to get this new thing out there into the world. They had incorporated it into a past program. It got a lot of great feedback and it was really impactful for people. They knew it would be really, really good. The price point would be around $300 per client, a one-time purchase for a course. They may have some higher purchase numbers because they were thinking of doing like a mastermind component with it as a higher ticket offer for those who want to be accompanied more deeply with it. But generally, it's a one-time purchase, right? So feels super exciting. They are really, really wanting to get this out there. They've been sitting on it for a bit. They're waiting for the right time. The alternative option, option B, was they relaunch their core offer again for another cohort, and they do that instead of launching the new thing. This is an already proven offer. They could repurpose existing assets like the sales page, the email sequences, the sales sequence. It brings in recurring income and stability into the business because once somebody joins, they're enrolled for 6 months. It's a 6-month program rather than a one-time course that someone's purchasing. It would be much less mental and emotional lift. So here's their decision point, and you're starting to probably see it the way that I'm talking about it. But even though they really wanted to get this other thing out there into the world, it became very clear when we actually looked at the capacity it would require to do that they were going to have to create all new, everything from scratch, a whole new sales page, all the new email sequence, the content, the delivery of it, and it would have one-time income. So they would have this launch, even if they got a lot of people into it, it would bring a good cash influx into the business. But now they're back to square one, needing more income over the next few months with a quick turnaround to now figure out what are they launching next to bring in income, right? To meet those income needs. They have to sell something else to meet those baseline income needs almost immediately after. So what we did as we're strategizing this quarter that they're coming into, along with the last quarter of the year, because they're kind of planning and the main time horizon we're looking at is the rest of the year with them. What they ended up choosing was based on capacity and the financial sustainability for the business, not just the creative desire to get this thing out there into the world and really serve their people through it, which is all really good. We have to weigh those different factors. So just because it is a good idea doesn't mean it's necessarily the next right step and the right thing to prioritize or the right timing to prioritize that thing. So I want you to hear that as an example because I know, especially if you're a visionary and you're creative and If you're entrepreneurial minded, you probably have so many ideas of things you want to bring to your people to serve them. And you are limited, unfortunately. And so I want you to really be clear for yourself about what does support stability in the business, what brings potential recurring income, what brings you peace. What do you have the real space and time to create and to do really well? What all is required? What does it entail to get that out there into the world or to get that into the hands of the people who need it, need what you have to offer? And then you can backwards plan your timelines based on what is reasonable milestones and what kind of actual time you have available to dedicate to creating that thing. And I also want you to know you're not alone in this. Anna and I are in the midst of our own hard conversations about these things ourselves. And you always have the permission to recalibrate, to recognize, you know what? I may have been overcommitting myself based on what my real capacity looks like. I may have overestimated what I have available to give to this, and I'm feeling the stretchiness and the spread thinness of that. Or I'm feeling the unsustainability of my current business model, and I need to relook at this. I need to seriously reconsider the way that I'm doing this. So my last encouragement to you is that you don't have to do this alone. Like I said, these decisions can be really hard to make on your own. When you're inside the day-to-day of the business, it can be easy to lose perspective or just not be able to see beyond, what our particular viewpoint is, right? And that's not a failure. That's not anything to internalize personally. You're not doing anything wrong. We all get stuck in the weeds, especially if you're operating, for the most part, holding the whole picture and all the details almost on your own. And so that's why it's so helpful to have a sounding board and someone to reflect things back to you and to see the truth and ask the right questions and get to the root of what's going on and where the friction points are, and those points of, where things can be simplified or streamlined or just open up the bottlenecks for you. So if this hits home and you are craving that kind of clarity, like I said, we've got a couple spots open for that one-time strategy session or quarterly planning call. Again, it's $750 or $1,000 depending on your needs, whether you are solo or whether you've got a team you want to incorporate a team assessment into. And we can help walk you through exactly what to focus on for your next quarter. Clarity, direction, a plan. We all need that. We all need that to feel at peace in where we're spending our time and energy. And we need a plan that works with your capacity and complements the rest of your life, where that doesn't always have to feel in conflict. So you can reach out to us by email at anna@apostolicfruit.com, or you can book a call to connect and we'll make sure that it's a good fit.
We hope you loved today's episode. If so, would you take a moment to share it with a friend?
If you haven't already, come connect with us human to human at apostolicfruit.com/connect. When you're ready, we'd love to support you more deeply.
May the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you,
and turn his face toward you and give you peace.